the Bamsters Rated R podcast for all your bacon needs. Hello guys and welcome back. Welcome back to this week's episode. Tonight joining me is Draconis and the G. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, Star Warsy peoples and Battlefieldy peoples. Yes, we're going to be discussing all things EA. Yes, I said disgusting. And apologies now, I ate some bad shellfish. G is under some very heavy medication, and Drac is... well, let's face it, he's Drac. So you're going to get varied opinions from bits and pieces about the things that are happening at E3, so enjoy.
Should we point out that, E3 starts on Monday, it's Saturday? No, it's
Well,
not what has happened, what we've seen so far.
Well, this episode's going to air on the night time, so I'm pretty sure it has happened. But we've got the inside scoops, the inners. Yeah, the inners that everyone else already knows, yeah.
Yeah, EA decided to jump the gun, I guess, and get started early.
They often tend to do that, releasing unfinished, unpolished, incomplete games. But unfortunately, EA isn't the only one. It's also Bungie. I can name a few, but I'm still salty about Bungie and Destiny. So yeah, Bungie, more Bungie.
It's just not easy being you, is it, Bammy?
No, not today. And if you don't mind, excuse me.
What if we do mind?
Out of band, the EA Origin Access premiere, was that the live streaming video game thing?
You know what? I don't know if it's live streaming or I don't think it's live streaming the game, just because I know with Origin, I think you still download and install the game. So, or at least Origin Access. So I would expect that Origin Access premiere, it's just going to be same deal, but you get access to it earlier.
And I'm back. What topic are we discussing?
We were waiting for you.
Oh, please don't. Please don't. It'll drag out the edit. Please, if you guys are talking, please talk.
Well, what was the first thing we saw at EA's pre-presentation?
Well, I don't know if it was the first thing they showed, but the first thing I saw was their Origin Access premiere. Basically a live service for access to video games. You pay a monthly fee, I believe it is, for access to their games, and with the Premiere service, you get access to them before anybody else, or at least before anybody else who doesn't have Premiere.
But that sounded like it was PC only, so, sort of irrelevant.
I'm with G on this one. What about the peasantry? What about the console peasantry? I mean, do we still have to go buy the archaic hard copy and buy the little ticket that gets printed out with the Premier Access, whatever have you? Premium, whatever. Come on now. Can't we all be inclusive, EA?
Well, you guys play more on console than I do. Is there anything for Origin on console?
There is an Xbox. Xbox has Origin alongside with...
so I wonder if this might be something that'll be available on Xbox then, but not necessarily on PlayStation.
That sure looks like it's probably going to be the way. Xbox has really, figured that bit out, actually managing to link the PC and the console. So I think they've done pretty good there, and I'm normally I won't say hater of Xbox, but I'm normally an opponent to the way they think. So yeah, well done, Xbox.
I'm not a big fan of having all these service loaders on my system, but I've kind of had to get used to it because there are some games that you can only get on Origin, and there's some games you can only get on Uplay, and then of course there's the Epic Games loader and Battle.net, and obviously Steam, where majority of the games that I have are at right now, but and GOG and there's more. You can go on for too many times, but I think Sony could probably do the same thing, but it would require them to do like what Microsoft has done with the Windows Marketplace, because I'd love to be able to purchase a title just like I've done with some of the Microsoft titles where it's cross-buy, so I could play it either on my PlayStation with you guys or on my PC when I am playing most of the time anyway.
Well, believe it or not, there is a service called Utomic that I think needs to start negotiations with PlayStation right now to do that. Shameless advertising, yeah.
I listened to that interview, actually. Frank was funny. He was a pretty cool guy, but gee, man, you were taking some hits in that one.
Yeah, even the emails he sent afterwards still pissing off. I don't think we'll have back.
Shots fired. Shots fired. I don't think the Dutch like the Belenese.
The Bell and Ease? What did you say?
There we go.
Drag, my friend. Take Epic and Fortnite. You buy game Fortnite, it's available both on Mac and on PSN. So we know Sony can handle it. You buy a game on one platform, it's available anywhere. That's doable.
Well, and if they were to partner with Epic or some company like Utomic, I'd love to see that. Just because I hate the idea, because I'm just not going to do it, but I hate the idea of having to buy a game multiple times in order to play it on multiple platforms. You know, when effectively what you're not really purchasing is the software itself anyway. You're purchasing a license. So if I'm only using that license in one place, i.e. my computer or my PlayStation, then I should be able to do that because I'm still only making use of the license, one at a time, not trying to use it on both at the same time.
Yeah, Sony had, about a decade ago, PS3, people were complaining about something similar, and Sony had the argument that it's part of the license is for the instant. If you lose the instant, don't use, that's not their problem. Part of the license, also in their mind, is the disc. It's €5 for the license, and it's €55 for the disc, something like that. They walked down that path before they...
Yeah, it sounds like hogwash.
I have reached out to somebody, even before we were recording, before you took notes, etc., to ask about some of your fingers crossed we'll know more if he replies.
Not to sound overly negative when it comes to this, but I'm pretty sure the disc is £5 and the license is £50. I'm pretty sure you got those figures mixed. Pretty sure that's how it works.
Yeah, try and tell Sony you would like a new disc for a game you already bought.
Yeah, see, that's been my argument, is if the disc gets scratched or destroyed by a kid or a dog or, something like that, then they should send me a disc at a very minimal charge, because I've already purchased the license.
Yeah, key. Anyways, go and check out the Origin Access Premier if you're on PC. It'll let you play the latest version of Sports Ball, EA Sports Sports Ball, EA Sports, Hand Sports, Hoop Ball.
You mean Foot Egg, Hand Egg, and Basket Egg, don't you mean?
Well, they have FIFA, and then they have, Hand Egg, and I don't know if the Hoop Ball thingy is in there.
Well, you are forgetting two very, very big titles. You're forgetting Battlefield 5, Battlefield V, and Battlefield Anthem. And yes, I said Battlefield Anthem because I honestly think it's just going to be Battlefield with the name Battlefield scratched out and Anthem written over it. But,
The
Don't you
mean... showed us tells me the gameplay mechanics are different in that no. Plus, here's a fun one. Let's jump into it. We can do Battlefield as well. They just tweeted out, I don't think he was supposed to, that there won't be romance in the game despite being a BioWare. There might be later because they haven't, they have technically the ability of adding romance to the storyline in Anthem. That seems very un-Battlefield.
Well, here we go. You see, BioWare is famous for their love scenes and stuff like that. It'll be interesting to see whether it's a PvE character or a PvP character. That'll be an interesting one.
It won't be PvP.
Well. Not too sure about that, Nige.
Okay, so straight out of a contact's comments, there won't be PvP initially because they don't want to balance shit. They'd rather add a whole ton of gear and not balancing it than having to balance it for PvP.
So they're saying no PvP, but have they said whether or not there is co-op and multiplayer? Because I haven't checked that yet.
Oh yeah, the game is, the storyline is single player, so whenever you return to a hub, you're in single player mode. The story part takes place at hubs. The mission, co-op, so you can team up on a mission and go out and play it. If you literally played any ongoing, like right now, story mode in Warframe, it's the same thing. Like the storylines in Warframe in the later ones, they are for you, but you co-op all them. So it's ripped straight out of that. Single player as far as storyline go, it's multiplayer as far as the action goes.
Oh, see, I'm liking that. I really love when games have co-op built into them, especially games like this. It's a lot of fun, to play the game initially, but it's a heck of a lot more fun when you can play with friends.
Well,
Yeah.
let me jump on my segue here and just say this out loud now before everyone else starts saying it. What's the bet? Everybody's going to say this phrase. Anthem is the game Destiny should have been. Yay! And also, Anthem is stealing Destiny's player base. That's what I reckon's going to get said.
I don't think Bungie's making it that difficult for them to do that right now.
No.
Oh,
no.
I'm with Drag on that.
I'm with him as well. I'm agreeing. Destiny, or Bungie rather, making it too easy. So much for 10 years.
Well, and I hate to say that too, because I've had a lot of fun playing Destiny 2. I never really did play much of Destiny 1 other than maybe an hour's worth, just because I don't really find enough time to sit down and play on my PlayStation. But there's a lot to like about the game, and it is fun to sit and play. It just feels like it's not there's not enough content in the game yet.
I'm surprised you were able to play Destiny 1. You were scrambling for content, and you didn't have to play maps backward. Yeah. I can see where, and you see, if EA can learn, and BioWare can learn from Bungie and what Bungie did wrong, and then learn, I'm pretty sure they will make a better game.
Well, Anthem definitely looks to be a pretty neat game visually anyway, so...
That's the other part. I already mentioned Warframe. You say it'll be complaints and comparison to Destiny? Yeah, okay, sure. Why not? But this game is a big rip-off from Warframe. It is. You get a bunch of frames, suits that you can swap into, you can decorate them. It's all about looks and how you add-ons to make you look differently. You can find loot boxes that'll let you look differently, etc. And you can upgrade your, they call them Javelin, your suit. It's about the co-op, it's every bit of it. It's just a full-price Warframe with less content.
Well, you see, now I didn't think of Warframe when comparing games to games. I always forget about Warframe. Always do. Because perhaps maybe Warframe is just so in your face when it comes to content and things you have to do and things you have to go and get. It's just so busy. You know, it's probably nicer to play a game that's not as, how you say, frenetic and frantic.
Yeah, I mean, you liked Destiny 1 where you could stand in front of a cave and just shoot and get all the loot you need.
Yeah!
Whereas in Warframe, you have to go out and actually find the loot.
That was the cave of many things. That cave was great for a time. That's where I got most of my exotics. That's where I found Galahorn and Thunderlord and Hook Claw or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, that's where I found them. Yeah.
I think the place where, though, Anthem's gonna shine will hopefully be the drop-in, drop-out and the open world part. If they let us explore the open world, not just getting to from missions, but actually explore it like they showed us a year ago, then I might actually pay money for this thing. I mean, it still doesn't look like it should be a full price, but again, it's because I compare it to Warframe. It's a free-to-play.
You see, you're forgetting something as well, G, when it comes to Anthem, alright? It's a similar, I would say similar, because the scenario is completely different, I'm sure. But Bungie had quite literally a development meltdown, you know, within the last sort of year to 6 months of the game release, which is why it was quite literally surgically partitioned and then sent out into the ether, broken, no storyline, nothing. Anthem are going through a similar process. They were going through some developmental and production issues. So, yeah, don't hold your breath just yet, G.
Oh no, and I mentioned this, we've even covered it in a couple of past episodes. BioWare has been through a similar headache, like the full-on painful, let's rewrite the story midstream issues. Back in Mass Effect 2 days. Like, Mass Effect 2 was supposed to be this whole environmental thing, and they went, no, let's just make it about robots. Bullshit. I think BioWare is weary of that. I think the pain from that is still being remembered. Pain from all the Mass I don't think they're going to let that happen to this game. We might be wrong, we might see something similar we've seen in quite a lot of games recently, where they've rewritten stories, they've repartitioned, they've chopped things. I remember seeing you, how was it you were playing with, finding parts of the map that just been disconnected because it was made, but then not used. That was fun to watch,
Yeah.
But I hope, thinking back to what we saw of this game a year ago, that's going to be quite feasible. But we don't know what the story bits are.
Have you seen what Drake has just gone ahead and written in the chat below? He says Galahorn, Thunderlord, Hookclaw, whatever hanger, just listing sex toys. What the hell, Jirak? Good God, man.
I remember the sounds you made as you started playing with them. I'm with Drag on this one.
Dude, seriously? Thunderlord and Galahorn. Galahorn before it was nerfed into the ground. When in doubt, Galley out. That means everything in Destiny. You just load up your Galahorn and let her rip. And I tell you what, everything was absolute decimation. It was brilliant. Galahorn pre-nerf was just utterly brilliant. Utterly brilliant. PvP, it was horribly overpowered. Horribly overpowered. But, you know, you can lock weapons out of PvP, which they never did. You know.
Well, and that might be something smart for them to do with Anthem, is that if at a certain point when they decide to introduce PvP, rather than bringing in the character you've been playing with all the whatever gear you found that they don't want to balance, is, you know, put everybody on a level playing field. I think, is it Guild Wars 2, I think, does something like that? I might be remembering the wrong one, where basically everybody kind of gets loaded in with the same kind of options, at the same level and whatnot. So that might be a better path to PvP play than trying to go in and readjust everything that they've already built for PvE.
So you're telling me I had a good idea for it?
Well, I was just talking about them saying that they didn't want to release, or that they weren't releasing PvP when the game released, but that it may come later, and their reason for that was not wanting to go through and try to balance everything for PvP.
Okay, right. Just to pick up back on what G said about Division, Destiny. I get the two games mixed up, honestly, Division and Destiny, I really do.
I keep saying the Division.
I know you do, and I'm sure that irritates many developers on both sides, but when G was talking about the partitioning and story breaking, thanks to the producers and devs giving it okay, or whatever happened with Destiny, and then with the whole rewrites of BioWare 2, good God, Bam, Fallout 2, whatever you want to call it, right? That game, good God, I'm that knackered. Right, what I'm trying to get at, Mass Effect 2, what I'm trying to get at, and I'll stop mumbling now, is the fact developers might learn, alright? They might learn what and how and where, alright? Producers, not necessarily. Producers know not to do that thing this time because that thing blew up in their faces. They'll try a different avenue. Look at EA with loot boxes. Now everybody knows, don't do loot boxes. Do something else. There are always tricks and ways and things to get money out of your pocket, your hard-earned cash. And honestly, when it comes to this EA Origin Access, Premier Access, it's just another way to get money out of your thing. That's how I see it. Tying the whole topic up into a nice pretty bow. It's just more money, bro. Mo money.
Well, in that regard, you mentioned earlier Battlefield Royale 5.
Oh, good God.
I think that's what I'm going to call it. So I guess the question with that is, are they going to go the route like Fortnite did, where they'll make the Battle Royale portion free, but there'll be a ton of cosmetic items that cost you money? Are you going to only get it if you purchase Battlefield? And, well, then are they still going to include cosmetics? I'm sure they're probably already looking at monetizing cosmetics for that.
You see, when it comes to Battlefield games, you can buy shortcut packages that will shortcut you to all the good weapons. They're like $2-3, £2-3, right? £6-7, whatever, right? And then you got to buy the add-on bits and pieces, right? Now, when it comes to Battle Royale 5, the Battlefield version, okay, I honestly reckon that's the case. That's exactly what's going to have to be. If you want that rocket launcher or that RPG, here's a shortcut package to do it. You can unlock it whilst you play through it, or you can just pay $5 and have it now. That's what I reckon. It's basically a paywall to get the gear instead of grinding through. I don't think it's going to be that cut and dry. That needs, like you said.
On the Battle Royale side, they can't really do that because it's about the weapons you find. Most Battle Royales, you spawn in either just with a pistol or with nothing.
Well, you see, this is where I don't necessarily think you guys are right. I think it's going to be a case of pick a battlefield, go find your weapon, and you don't have to find this sniper rifle. If you pay the shortcut to the package, then you get to find that sniper rifle. I know I'm being a bit, I'm being freaking convoluted here and stuff like that, but to be pretty honest, you can't put it past EA. With all that nonsense with the loot boxes and the blatant sort of advertising of the loot boxes and kids spending. To be honest, mate, it's the kids that are spending the money. It's all these 9-year-olds running around the internet, thanks to PewDiePie, right? Or 63 million of them that are doing this stupid.
Well, I think G's right, though. I think if you have something like that where you're paying to unlock a weapon that you'll either start with or will appear near wherever you land or something like that, that kind of breaks the game a little bit with regards to the Battle Royale formula.
And I can rebut that by saying game breaking. The stuff they did in Battlefront 2 was game breaking. So I know I'm being overly negative. I'm probably sure that the EA is just responding to the latest fad of Battle Royale. I'm sure it'll be fun. I'm sure it'll be a case of you're only going to get Battle Royale if you purchase Battlefield. And if you get the premium pass or premier whatever have you get like more extra goodies whenever they upload and download, more maps to run around on when you do your Battle Royale 5, whatever have you. So I'm sure that'll be the case. But you can never put it past EA to do stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if at some point they're going to make that Battle Royale part of Battlefield free to play just to get a larger audience. that would then spend money on cosmetics anyway.
You see, that's what they did with Dust 514. They used Dust 514 and Valkyrie as a gateway to get people into EVE. I mean, that's how I started playing EVE. I played Dust 514, and because of that game, I then got an EVE account. You know, so if they make it free to play, that makes sense to me. You know, like a segue into the main game. Come join the battlefield. Battlefield 3, 4, Hardline, whatever you want. Because whenever you turn on your Battlefield game or your Hardline game, you get a main menu, and the main menu says these are the games you have, these are the games you can play, these are the games you can't because you don't own the game. So buy the game.
That's the approach I would take, I think, not marketing. Make the Battle Royale part free and make everything else expensive.
No, you see, I like that idea better because, you know, you get to play Battlefield for free. Yeah.
I was just reading up, sorry, I'm following messages that are coming in parallel. And I like this observation that in Anthem, to jump back, there will both be personalization, decorative, and customization. So I'm kind of also wondering how much of that personalization is going to come out as things you buy. How much of it is in drop boxes? How much is in buying specific cosmetics? They keep saying no loot box, but at one point during the presentation they pointed out loot box meant random, so you can still buy things.
I have a lot less of a problem with something like that, because that was always my gripe with the loot boxes is, you know, you spend money on something for a chance at something and then end up getting a bunch of crap you either already have, don't want, don't need. But, you know, how many times am I going to keep doing this stupid thing to get the one thing that I want? So at least if they're doing it that way, you pay for what you want and you get what you want.
Oh, so you mean not gambling? Oh, so you're basically paying for a service that you've already paid for?
Well, you're paying for a cosmetic to add on to the service you're already paying for. Think of it like you order an Uber and then you pay to have the racing stripes painted on.
Yay, racing stripes, yeah!
Looking here, I think, ma'am, if we get Anthem, you need to play as the... It's just...
Why must I play as the Colossus, bro? Seriously.
It just looks like you.
Eh? Dude, the Colossus is an ugly mother. Why do I want to play like a Colossus?
Again, it looks like you.
Yeah, God.
You used to be our heavy back in the day. This seems to be the case.
I remember those days.
I'm already calling it. I want to play this.
Well, I used to run as a heavy in my Iron Man. Well, I like to think it was Iron Man red and gold. That was my usual, you know, gold tier proto awesome amazing. You cannot kill me no matter what you throw at me. Even a tank shell could not kill me, scratch me, whatever have you, as long as I've got my gimp, you know, the med behind me. I miss those days, I won't lie. And the forge gunning, oh, those days were good. Those days were plentiful. Those days were amazing.
I don't know, I still see one problem with this. You guys are still talking about playing on console.
Well, you see, here's the thing though, right? When it comes to all these games and stuff like this, you see, this is where I prefer a service like Atomic, right? Rather than a service of Steam, you know, because Atomic... they seem to be and want to be everywhere. So they will do anything and, you know, they can to be everywhere, you know, to sort of spread their service around as amicably as possible. Whereas people like Steam and Origin and BioWare's version, whatever have you, are sort of, I don't know, cut off from the rest of the ecosystem. Whereas Atomic's not. Okay, Steam isn't as either, but, you know, it's how do you say, it's the get your fingers in as many pies as possible thing that I like about Atomic. You know, they've got many games. So, yeah, the more I think about it, mate, seriously, might just want to get a PC just so I can get that service. Good God.
Well, I definitely like their service, especially as a way to get into gaming. But the advantage to something like Steam over a service like Atomic or the Origin Access Premier, you have no control on those services if they decide for any reason, whether it's contractual or personal reasons or whatever, to remove a game. So then there may be a game on there that you didn't get around to playing or that you really enjoyed playing, but now that game could be gone for whatever reason. Whereas with Steam, you purchase a game, you own the license for that game, and it's in your library. But again, on the flip side of that, with these other services, the advantage to those is the wide range of games that you can just load up and play these games, you know, without having to buy an individual game because you're already paying the monthly service fee.
I mean, I took a cheeky stab at Frank, right? I know we've gone completely off topic here, but I took a cheeky stab at Frank because I knew he didn't have any Westwood Studio games, i.e., you know, Command & Conquer. I knew he didn't have that, so I took a cheeky stab at him for that. But you see what I mean. Command & Conquer is a brilliant game. Love that game. Hell, I'm playing the free-to-play version on Red Alert. Good God, love that thing, right? Now, that is basically segmenting yourself off from the rest of the ecosystem that Atomic is part of. Yes, Steam's part of it, but I think they're an old angry dinosaur. You know what I mean? I think Atomic, with its monthly rolls in and rolls out, if you haven't played the game by then, well, that's unfortunately, that's your tough luck. You know, you've paid for the service. If you're not using that service to play the games, well then, your fault.
No, you could be using it to play games. Maybe you just didn't get to that specific game yet. Or maybe it was something you were playing through and then it gets pulled.
That's a valid point. Now, I'm waiting for G to chime in with a segue into the next topic of Sea of Solitude, and I cannot for the life of me think of one.
Oh no, I had a different one, because you like Command & Conquer.
I do.
There's the new Command & Conquer Rivals game they showed off.
Yeah, okay. They're gonna wreck it somehow.
Everybody welcome Positive Bam.
Well, no, look, seriously, whenever EA gets hold of this sort of stuff, they wreck it. I mean, I went from the Command & Conquer games, you know, to Red Alert. Then I played Red Alert 2, and I'm going, this is very cartoony, very childish, very not World War II at all. You know, I mean, granted, in Red Alert, they went back in time and stuff, but it was still feasible. I mean, for God's sake, you had Albert bloody fucking Einstein, right? In Red Alert 2, it's just like, okay, this is very cartoony. You know, but, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You said when they get a hold of this, I assume you're talking about EA.
Yeah.
Wasn't Command & Conquer an EA published game from the start?
No. Made by a company called Westwood Studios that were bought out by EA many moons ago.
Ah, okay, that's right. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
don't
yeah.
ask what happened to it.
Yeah, don't ask. That'll rip off many band-aids.
No, I do kind of remember the name, though. They put out, from what I remember, quite a few games that were fun to play. Because I do remember that studio name.
They actually made one of my first games that I remember as really getting into. Damn, that was back in 1988. Mars Saga. Oh, I miss Westwood Studios, the old ones.
Well, there's your segue, G.
No, because I mean, I still want to do a little bit about Command & Conquer, because that one, me and Bam can actually play together, or against each other.
You would fall under the massive Zerg Rush. Speaking of Zerg Rush, I didn't play any of the later Command & Conquer games because I had completely converted over to Blizzard and, StarCraft.
Well, just to round out, Bam, it's an Android game. You play it on your mobile phone.
I crash you.
But yeah, Sea of Solitude, this one was weird. I see Drac took the notes that it looks creepy and interesting. It's basically a game of what happens to the human mind. You know, the monsters in our head gets out. What do you end up seeing and doing? And I like, for starters, the visual style. The game looks like really interesting. Basically all of it, the story, the setting. But the thing that caught my eye, it's an EA original, which means it's EA helping out an indie developer. And EA is not getting a dime for it, apparently. That's weird. I know some of the other ones. Squeenix Initiative, they take 5% with a Kickstarter and stuff like that. But supposedly...
Don't believe it.
I said, me neither. There must be something.
Perhaps maybe a tax break.
They had a woman up on the stage from the developers. And as I wrote on Twitter, this reminds me why we do what we do when we have guests on. She was the most happy, joyous, excited person you've seen in a long time. Just absolutely loving standing there and telling about her game, showing it to the world. She was just, that sounds weird, to observe and see how she was enjoying what she was doing and talking about her game. Frankly, that's one of the best things in the world, is listening to these people being so excited about their game and showing it.
Well, hopefully we can be as big as EA one day. Yeah, yay. Not with this negative attitude, negative Debbie or negative Nancy. Debbie Downer. Yes, ma'am, you're a Debbie Downer.
Yeah, I agree with G, though. I do like the animation style, or the art style for it. And to me, yeah, there are some aspects of it that are a little creepy, but that was one of the things that I thought made it look interesting. So, someone's exuberance like that should be celebrated, and I hope that turds on the internet don't ruin it.
Well, you see, turd number one, report for duty. Look, I just hope EA doesn't go ahead and quite literally break whatever they're breaking because, reasons. The Sea of Solitude didn't really pique my interest at all because I know what I do in the dark. I sleep or I watch YouTube. That's it. I have a very sheltered life. I don't do much apart from eat, sleep, and watch YouTube.
Sorry, I'm just reading messages that are popping in about.
You really are sold on this thing, aren't you? You really are getting involved with it, aren't you? I'm glad you found a game that piques your interest, G.
Well, it helps when you have a link into messages. The story, though, that might surprise. I like good stories. I hope that BioWare is usually where we go to for good stories.
I would have rebutted you a couple of years back and said Bungie do just as good, or if not better. But Recent developments prove me incorrect.
Oh, there won't be cross-platform play currently.
Don't worry, G. Don't worry. We can have fun while Drac just, I don't know, does Drac.
There'll be suit-specific weapons. I don't like that.
You know, Bam, I do have other friends beside you guys, right?
Dude, your dog doesn't count as your... Right, yeah. Yeah. It's just an eating machine, as you said earlier on. It'll just, whatever you put in front of it, will eat. You know, dogs don't count, it says friend. Well, to be honest, you could... Yeah, okay, I'll let you have that one, right? I'll let you have that one. That was a bit harsh. Your dog is your friend, the best friend, yeah.
Best friend.
But yeah, I got mine right here, so that...
Yeah, I was going to say you might have a hard time convincing the dog that that was true, but...
Go on, G, talk about sci-fi, Star Wars, these stuffs. Come on. Come on.
Oh, but G doesn't call it sci-fi. He calls it sci-fantasy.
He's been watching too many extra credits.
I actually like that title, science fantasy versus science fiction.
I'm actually looking because since Drax says he has friends, there was one game that I wanted to suggest that he played with one of his friends.
And
Fetch
that is...
isn't a real game.
Again, try telling the dog that.
No, because I know that you sometimes play video games with your kid. And check out Nari, Tower of Shirin. It's coming out soon. Spelled Nairi. It's up on Steam.
Open it up now.
I think that looks like something you might enjoy to just sit and play through with her. But yeah,
Oh, it's a Kickstarter.
it should be on. It has already. Sorry, it's one of those where a PR company poked us and said, "Look at this. It looked awesome, actually." But I haven't followed up on it because we have had a bunch of pings recently that I need to follow up on, and I haven't slept for 5 days. So, you know, things are fun. Science fantasy. So that's Star Wars: The Jedi Fallen Order thing, right? As well as what was the other thing? Battlefront. So they said a lot of things about Battlefront. They're getting a lot of things. They're going back to Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin and Clone Wars. And apparently people like that. I have no idea why. I thought those movies were terrible, weren't they?
No, the movies were terrible, but the ideas were great. I mean, let's face it, Lucas just bombed. Absolutely bombed the first three. He bombed. Good God. 3, 4. He bombed 6, 7, 8. Right?
Are you counting on your fingers, Bam?
No. Look, Star Wars is a bit of a tricky counter, right? Because it started at episode 4. Then it had episode 5, then episode 6, right? So it's 7, 8, 9, right? Episode 7, the first one. You see where I'm going with this? Episode 7, the first one. You know what broke the whole mystique about it for me? You know what broke about it? When Anakin was fixing his speed pod racer thing, right? And you hear these kids run up going, hee, kids run up, let's God. You've heard this kids giggle 1,000 bloody times in all sorts of B movies and A movies and whatever you call it. And then that 5 minutes bloody later when the kids take the piss out of poor Anakin, right? The guy's going to become a robot. Cyborgy robot with one arm. Poor guy. Had to be his right, didn't it? Poor guy. Don't grab too tight, Luke. Don't grab too tight. The Force is with you, sir. They makes the same bloody kitty noise when they run off. That completely sucked me out of it. I mean, I can bear Jar Jar Binks. I can. I know why it was put in there, you know, and then the next episode it was all serious and ambassador-y and whatever have you, but my God, that kid laugh just broke the whole movie for me. The series was wrecked because of all these little noises and door closes and door frames. I mean, it was a multi-billion. What's a billion? Let's just say million to be safe, right? They couldn't, I don't know, spend a couple of bucks going to find new kitty laughs. Couldn't they? Couldn't they, EA? Couldn't they? It's all your fault, EA. It's all your fault.
Okay.
Sorry, a bit of a rant. I'm sorry. Number 7, which was the first one, broke the series. I still maintain that pre-Lucasifying it before they released the 7, 8, 9 were the better ones. Even though I'm old and I'm jaded and I'm twisted and yeah. I thought the first 4, 5, 6 were very gruesome, dark, you know, horrible, nasty, whereas 7, 8, 9 were very kid-friendly. Star Wars is not kid-friendly. It's a horrible
Star Wars are kid
tale.
movie.
No, they're not.
That's the whole thing.
No,
Here
it's
we
not,
have the-
though. No, it's not. Star
Yes, it
Wars
is.
is a horrible story. The father kills the mother. The mother has to have his children quite literally abducted. You know, the poor boy lives in a freaking farm in a desert. The dog, okay, Leia, I'm not sure what life she had, right? But anyway, she had a princessy life, whatever have you. It was a horrible story. The caretakers of Luke Skywalker get burnt to death. God, it's a whole story. It needs to be dark and dreary and gruesome. Not have some freaking Super Saiyan dude have a freaking shit fit inside a freaking console plate with a triple lightsaber, whatever have you. I don't see, Darth Vader doing that. good God, Darth Vader would just kill everyone on the station and then walk off going, meh, you know.
Did you see the sword fight with Bounty Yoda?
No.
Sorry,
no.
lightsaber.
Oh.
No. Gee, stop. Stop,
The
G.
version of that
Stop.
you need is when it was remixed with the song for Kung Fu Fighting.
But I'm sorry. This is where it breaks for me with Battlefront and all the other things. They're kids' movies. I'm sorry. They're big kids' movies. They're not for small kids. They're for big kids, but they're kids' movies. So let's absolutely make games where we run around shooting and murdering. It makes sense.
No, G,
And-
but Star Wars isn't a kid's franchise. It should, well, in my eyes, it shouldn't be. It should be dark and dreary and gruesome and horrible. Because, you know, let's face it, that would make much better, interesting entertainment.
Well, and I feel like I should mention for those of you listening at home, or wherever you may be listening, and are having trouble keeping track of Bam's ramblings, when he says 7, 8, and 9 for the episode numbers, he's really referring to 1, 2, and 3, which completely skipped over in his finger counting.
Well, look, no, seriously, 4, 5, 6 were the good ones, right? 7, 8, 9, which were 1, 2, and 3, were, let's say, blasé, mediocre.
But how
one
can
I
they be
did like,
7, 8,
right,
9
was-
if they never made 1, 2, 3?
No, but you see, there's the thing, right? There's the thing, okay? Because episode 3 was the first one they made, okay, that's how I'm counting. I'm counting it linearly, not episodally, right? So linearly, it's 3, 4, 5. Or 4, 5, 6,
5,
whichever.
6.
Here we go, 4, 5, 6, right? And then they made 7, 8, 9, which happened to be... Oh God, I lost count now. 4, 5, 6.
Are you getting
right?
confused with Star Trek
Yeah,
now?
I'm getting... But you see what I'm getting at? You see what I'm getting at, right? Granted, they
That
can't
wasn't 7,
recreate
8,
the
9, that was
70s sort
7 of
atmosphere.
9.
What's that, sorry?
I asked if you were getting confused with Star Trek, and I said that wasn't 7, 8, 9, it was 7 of 9.
Oh, low blow. Don't you get confused with my Catherine Janeway, best Captain Janeway ever, Janeway. Sorry, hands down, Captain Janeway, best captain ever. None of this Stuart Patrick.
Cisco.
No, I'm sorry. No, Cisco.
Captain
No,
Benjamin
I know he's captain. I know that. Cisco stands alone. He is a pillar of integrity as Cisco, right? But, however, I still reckon he'll be out-captained by Janeway. And if Picard was involved, he'd just be the T-boy. In my opinion. And let's face it, Kurt would be, I don't know, a drunken stupor in the gutter somewhere. But that's just Kurt.
Kirk.
Kurt, and... I don't know why I said Kurt, sorry.
I'd be remiss if I didn't say anything, sorry.
I'm just in
Proves I'm
that
right.
scenario where they're together. I just hope the other ones keep telling Kirk to get his fucking clothes on.
That's because he's drunk, passed out in a gutter, having drunk too much, whatever he drank.
But
How did we
yes,
get-
there were new
How
Star
did we
Wars
get to
movies
Star Trek
today.
from Star Wars? Hey?
It's you and Drac. You can't figure things out.
Drac was
count your
poking
fingers.
fun.
Can't count your fingers.
But yeah, no. Why do they keep going back to this timeline? I don't know, because they just recently announced the live-action television show is going to be during that same kind of time frame where it's after episode 6 and before episode 7. Why can't they go back to things like the Old Republic or even further back in the history than that? There's a lot of cool stories you can tell with those timelines. Been listening to Bam too much, and now I'm mixing up my words.
Well, people sounded like they cheered when they said, what's his face? Count Sudoku would be in there and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Well, people are fans of those characters, and sure, it's exciting to think that you could encounter or play as some of those characters, but I don't know. I would love to see them really delve back into some of the more ancient type, like lore and whatnot.
Not until Disney, the House of... Right now it's Solo. They're in the Solo phase. There'll be a Solo up around the time this episode comes out. That's all they focus on because that's what they're doing. So they have to follow the House of Mouse and what they say.
Well, have you seen Solo? Have either one of you guys seen Solo yet?
No, but I'm sure it's advertiser friendly.
Let me put it this way, because and for anyone who's listening who maybe hasn't seen the movie, I won't give spoilers away, but I thought one Solo movie would be fine and it would be enough. After having watched the movie, I want more. Doesn't have anything to do specifically with the Solo character, just with a character that they introduce. It's not a new character to Star Wars, but it's a character that's introduced in the movie late in the movie. And now I want to see more.
Well, now you've told me, I have to know because I haven't seen Han Solo, the single Solo, whatever. So they haven't told me. Is it that red droid that R2-D2 or C-3PO rescued?
No.
Oh. That's why he's got a red arm, because C-3PO, I don't know, rescued it on an acid planet or some crap.
Is it the one that apparently every neckbeard in the Star Wars fandom people who can't stand that their childhood fantasy TV movie are being changed to include women. Is that character?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
There's apparently, my Twitter feed has been blowing up. Again, I don't watch the latest Star Wars, apologies, but there was a character who was female and apparently not particularly well written or something, and people just threw hate to the actress, like really not.
Oh, you want to push that button with me?
Well, I'm sorry, all I can see is a bunch of men who like children's movies are whining that the children's movies have changed.
Yeah, the thing is, right, it's not the actresses or actors' fault that they act like shit, unless they're really bad actors and have a proven track record to be bad actors. It's the story that they have to act and how the director or directing staff guide and steer them on how to behave and act within the scene. It's not the actress's fault. That's why I asked.
Yeah, but most of the hate that she received didn't have anything to do with her acting, from what I understood. It had to do with other things, including what people felt was a misuse of the character, or the dialogue was lacking. But she received a lot of hate to the point where, after months and months of this, she's shut down her Instagram. And
is that the one that killed her Instagram account? Because that's the one, right?
I'll try not to stand on this soapbox too long, and if you have little ones, I will attempt to keep the expletives away, but you might want to put some earmuffs on. If you are one of those people who participated in the rage and hate-filled bullshit that was targeting this actress, my initial reaction is anger. However, upon reflecting on it a little bit too, it's also pity, because you really have no idea what it means to be a true fan of something. You can be a fan and not like something that was done with it and not be an ass about it. And the people who did this shit, crawl back under your, just go away, because nobody needs that kind of bullshit.
I can't. 4chans upon us! Oh no!
No, seriously, I mean, she did not deserve the crap that was tossed her way, and it's so disappointing, because if you look at anything, any press thing you ever saw with her, any behind the scenes stuff that you ever saw with her, just the complete joy and exuberance that she showed for getting to be a part of it. I mean, she was a real fan of this, and if you think about being a fan of something and then being able to go and work with these folks, on a daily basis and be part of that universe that you're a fan of, like, she exhibited the best qualities of what you would want to see from someone in that position, and didn't deserve any of this crap that people were tossing at her. So they can go and piss off.
No. Drake's gone to the dark side. Oh no! Stand by. 4chan inbound. Stand by. No, look, I don't necessarily blame her. Her acting's fine, as far as I can tell. It's the direction that she got from the people telling her what and where and how, and that's what and the story was not particularly well written from what I've read, so that's not her fault at all. So what's that got to do with the price of cheese? If you want to point fingers, look at Nick Fury. When I was knee-high to grasshopper, I grew up and Nick Fury was a white dude with a patch over his eye. You know how excited I was when I found out Nick Fury was Samuel L. motherfucker Jackson. Holy shit, dude. That guy is that word, right? Of badass motherfucker. And the only reason why I say that is because he had a wallet with that very phrase on it. Rah!
Oh, he's had more than that. When I was getting to go to Comic-Con every year, I remember there was somebody that came out and asked him a question in one of the panels, what was it like to be a badass motherfucker? And then the next year when he showed up with a t-shirt on it that said badass motherfucker.
Yeah! I tell you what. Great. I was so excited okay, I know this has probably got nothing to do with the same sort of thing, women, men, black, white, pink, brown, blue, yellow, whatever have you. But holy shit, dude. Samuel L. Jackson is Nick Fury. The baddest of all badasses. Oh, I was so excited. I really was. Like, yes! Someone that can actually draw some substance and, some gravitas around the whole sort of character, and he does that. Marvelous.
Well, and if we're going to bring this back to Jedi Fallen Order, since we're going to see Count Dooku and Obi-Wan potentially in the game, maybe we might even see Mace Windu.
He wasn't mentioned, and I think they would have. So, you'll see what's-his-face Greavy. No idea how you play that character. That'll be weird. But, so far, no Mace Windu.
Quad-wielding lightsabers, R1, L2, are all lightsaber buttons, and that's how you wield. So, you press the two top bumpers, the two bottom bumpers, and he, wields them. You can wield them independently. It's it's a good character to play.
Or you
Well, you're
get a
assuming-
PS Move on the PlayStation, and you lie down and put a Move controller on each hand and each foot.
Well, you're assuming these are characters you're going to play, not just characters that you run into during some kind of story. Because I thought that I saw this was supposed to be an open world game, so I'm kind of guessing that this may be something more along the lines of what was the Star Wars MMO that was out, where you're playing your own character, but you encounter these other characters as you go along.
Old Republic 1 and 2,
Yes, Old
played that,
Republic.
loved them. Played
It's
the first
literally
Old
the case.
Republic. Oh, sorry.
BioWare cannot say or do anything about, oh, we're making a new game without people going, is it a Knight of Old Republic remake or sequel, something like that. People want.
I played my first game of Knights of the Old Republic and completed the game, right, on the original Xbox. And then from there, I played Knights of the Old Republic 2 on my PlayStation. I think it was my PlayStation or my laptop, whichever. But I loved it. Loved it.
Okay, should we end it with Bam expressing instead of all the hatred he's expressed throughout this episode?
It's not hate. It's just, how do you see, it's I want to say it's fan criticism. But then people say it's fanatical criticism. But, you know, whatever. It's like yourself, G, I've been burned too many times, and I'm not going to spend money on stuff that is going to burn me. You know, I've spent too much money on this stuff, and, you know, it's probably why I'm still a console peasant. Because, you know,
I'm
if
not
I've got a
saying you're
PC, the
salty,
Steam
Bam.
count.
I'm
Oh,
not
I'm
going to say
salty.
you're salty. But I suspect Newcastle does not spend a lot of money in the winter on keeping the roads clear.
Shut up, you.
Oh, and here I thought it was going to be a margarita reference in there.
No, he's having a reference to where I nearly broke my freaking leg when I slipped in the freaking snow because the Newcastle Council didn't deem it necessary to, I don't know, grit the bus routes. So, Bam was slipping and sliding all over the damn place and went into, I don't know, another freaking truck.
You have a talent for that.
He's getting
Shit
salty again.
finds me.
Should we wrap it up, guys?
I agree with G.
I'm on G started. G, you can close this.
Okay, everybody, peoples, listeners, both of you. That was our little look at what we know so far from E3 side of things. There'll probably be more things coming later this year. Next week, expect us to talk more E3, as there will have been literally the rest of E3, including the one I'm looking forward to, BE3, the Bethesda Fallout 4.5.
Can they please include multiplayer this time, or at least co-op?
Bethesda, aka New EA. Yay!
But that was me, G. See you all later.
Drug sign up.
And from over in sunny California, this has been Drek. I'm out.
And from me, Bam Havoc, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I have yet but one question. Drac G, bacon sandwich question, beer time. If you were a bacon and you had to be on a particular dish, what bacon would you be, and what drink would you like to be washed down with into your gut?
After all this time, I would think you know the answer to that. It's always maple bacon with some kind of peanut butter. And as far as washing it down, well, I've acquired a taste for whiskey gingers after my trip to Ireland last week.
Poor gingers. Poor gingers. Right, G, yours?
Well, if it's what bacon will I be, as I'll say, swill and cheese, York style. And to drink, things would be flushed down. Cubanista, rum-flavored beer. But open it, pour it, leave it for a few minutes, because apparently it's English, and it's fizzy, and we all know the English can't do fizzy beer. Let it just go a little bit unfizzy, a little bit flat. Perfect.
And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is your bacon top up for this week. Guys, my name is Bam Havoc, and it's good to see all your beautiful faces here again. Cheers, guys. Bye. The Bamsters rated our show. Like, comment, and subscribe. Do it. Bacon commands you.